This review is sponsored by Game Pressure Studio.
Released in early access November 30th, 2022 with a promising roadmap by a solo developer and publisher, Game Pressure Studio for PCVR, Combat Troops VR, a title still in early access, a title created by one man, easily ranks as my VR hidden gem of 2023 and one of the most entertaining military first-person shooter experiences I've had, VR or flat, in a long time. Thanks to Game Pressure Studio for the Steam keys. Stick around till the end to find out how to grab yourself a copy of this amazing, ambitious VR gem. The Lab Video Game TV The TV Series, Season 11 premieres on Flow 1, January 10th, 2024. Download the official Flow Sports app to watch us on Flow, on the go, in 25 countries across the Caribbean. Visit the website at thelabvideogametv.com. Reach out at contact@thelabvideogametv.com. Now, let's suit up, gear up, and find out what Combat Troops VR has to offer. Combat Troops VR's main focus is a highly detailed, immersive, and entertaining military first-person shooter experience in VR, and so far, maybe for that reason, the developer has turned all focus on weapons, gear, combat, the military experience, so there's no story here. Well, not yet. Before starting a mission, you enter a briefing room, but for now, all missions share the same brief, so I have nothing to report on regarding the story. In sound, we've got all that's needed. The music, while sometimes generic, is fitting and adds to the experience. The only voice acting you'll hear are one-liners from your squad members, the enemy, and radio chatter. Some of the things they spit out are cheesy as all hell. Most others are fine and suitable though.
Move and destroy the objective.
If you're a coward, you'll die like a coward.
The sound effects are solid. Gun blasts, explosions, reloads, other miscellaneous sounds. All good. The atmospheric sounds are also on point. So other than some silly repetitive one-liners and the generic sounding music, all is good in the sound department.
Objective destroyed.
The visuals are decent, and these are a few points I'll be returning to throughout this review. This game is still in early access, with an approximate 2-year roadmap, so everything I report on in this review is subject to change and major improvements. The game looks good, but in its own indie way. Yeah, it's rough around the edges, lots of room for refinements, even with everything cranked up to epic. The developer is currently working on performance optimization as Combat Troops VR transitions to Unreal Engine 5. So as it stands, while there's currently an appreciable level of attention paid to detail, the gun models, the well-crafted maps, character modeling, and animations, there's still improvements inbound. And even when set to epic, Combat Troops VR does deliver on performance. So far, so good. Let's get to the nitty-gritty. What really matters: gameplay. The level of details in this game's design is impressive. This is what hooked me. With only one game mode so far, with not the greatest visuals, with a few bugs and glitches, I found it hard to pull myself away to complete this review. Combat Troops VR is one of those titles that I'll be interacting with long after this review goes up. It's really that good. In settings, we've got graphics, that's texture quality, shadows, anti-aliasing, the usual suspects we expect in a PC game. We've got audio level adjustments in sound settings. In gameplay options, you choose to hide or show your body, adjust rotation type and speed, weapon handling, camera shake, vibration intensity, and so on. Advanced settings allow you to adjust hand offset. Then we're presented with a pretty comprehensive tutorial to get you familiar with the controls. Some of the button mapping choices are unconventional, like pressing the thumbstick to jump, and while this isn't the first time I've seen it, instead of pressing the left thumbstick to sprint, you swing your arms, or hands really. This is something I've never had an interest in. It always looked like way too much to do in a game, but using it for the first time, I really liked it. It was way more intuitive than I expected. I was overthinking it. I thought there would be way more swinging required, but it worked out pretty well. I think the option to go with the more conventional route should also be available though. The norm isn't always a bad thing. Not always. Other than the initial tutorial, which you can revisit, the developer has clearly gone to great lengths to ensure players fully understand what's on offer here. Because this is one of those games that, should you jump into it expecting some generic, done-to-death Call of Duty knockoff arcade-like experience, you may misjudge it and miss out on one hell of a ride. Combat Troops VR is more along the lines of a military sim, not an arcade shooter, but an easily accessible military sim. Game Pressure Studio created a shooting range that is so helpful. It's more than one range actually. You can test just about everything. The sidearms, the rifles, the launchers, the various gears and gadgets. Some you can only test after leveling up, but once at the required level, it's like an open house. And passing up this opportunity to explore your headquarters would be greatly ill-advised. Take at least an hour at base before seriously running out into combat. If you don't, this may lead to frustration. It may lead to you misjudging Combat Troops VR. I had so many oh moments. I approached it the wrong way initially. I just wanted to dive in head first. I was quickly humbled, however.
Nailed it once, but it's not over yet.
When I decided to calm down and spend some time in HQ figuring out how the inventory system works, that you have your tactical vest, not a backpack, where you store grenades, medkits, C4, your JTAG binoculars, or however you'd like to customize it. You have your ammo belt, you have slots over your shoulder for 2 rifles and on the front 2 sidearms. When I took the time to figure out how to use each weapon, not just how to reload, but what works best for a mission, be it day or night, what works best for my preferred playstyle. When I took the time to pay attention to my GPS to check the objectives, instructions, and locations, how to use my JTAG's night vision, how to use it to call in air and mortar strikes, figure out how to plant and detonate C4. Once I took the time to figure these mechanics out, the missions made so much more sense.
Confirmed. Target has been eliminated.
I realized how much work and passion the developer put into this. The level of detail put into customization. Not only can you customize your soldier's uniform, camo, headgear, balaclavas, shades, glove types, you can also choose weapon skins. You can choose from 30 weapon types, not including the 12 melee weapons, 26 attachments, I'm talking scopes, grips, suppressors, laser sights, flashlights. Did I mention this game is made by one person? Just checking. The guns feel really good. The aiming is so precise. And once I got to level 4 and copped this rifle I had my eye on since level 1, I was golden.
Loud and clear. Target has been eliminated.
The level design is also commendable. The attention paid to details here is impressive. The maps, although generic by nature, excel in design. Yes, we have seen the desert, the warehouse, etc. all before, but once you get on these maps, they don't feel particularly generic. Game Pressure Studio clearly burned many a midnight oil in creating this, and he's nowhere near done.
Destroy the objective.
The gameplay loop, for now, is a small but highly entertaining one. After gearing up in HQ, you go to the mission board. You choose which map you'd like to play on from 10, some being night versions, which offer a different level of challenge. Do not forget your flashlight. You have been warned. Choose your difficulty. Confirm that you're properly equipped and you're off. All maps for now have pretty much the same objectives in a random order. The missions are quite long, but highly engaging. Once you arrive, you'll have 2 AI squad members along with you, who respawn after death. Check your GPS for instructions and directions and go complete each objective. These objectives range from destroying targets and moving intel, but are designed to keep you busy and entertained. After completing an objective, you'll get a checkpoint, and the opposition becomes increasingly difficult after each one. After destroying all targets and gathering all intel, your final task will be to survive. Eliminate all remaining opposition and you're in the clear. Head back to HQ, get your new gear and weapons based on your level upgrades, rinse and repeat. But not rinse and repeat in a tedious way. For the little that's on offer here presently, it just feels so good. So, let me couple the bugs, the glitches, and the obvious shortcomings with the ambitious roadmap ahead. As the developer is fully aware of these shortcomings and is at work tirelessly to make Combat Troops VR into the indie VR masterpiece it deserves to be. Your squad. First, the elephant in the room. This game would be so much better with online co-op. Yes, and that is in the works and on the way. Your AI teammates aren't the sharpest tools in the shed, and you have nothing in the way of squad controls. The developer assured me this too is on the way in the form of hand gestures. Should be interesting to say the least. The second elephant. Just one game mode may seem bare bones, but in Combat Troops VR's defense, like I said earlier, this one game mode has meat on the bones, it has substance, is well designed, and will keep you busy. However, more game modes are inbound regardless. We'll have silent ghost missions which will be stealth based. We'll have hostage rescue missions and a zombie mode. When and if all these modes land is dependent on the game's overall success, but I am confident that at least the ghost missions will land, and online co-op is for certain.
Target is down.
Moving on, there are times when I would equip my loadout before a mission, but when I arrived on site, my primary weapons seemed to have been left at base camp.
Let's go.
The cavalry has arrived.
Forward.
If I got taken out, after respawning, it would be there though. Then, sometimes, although cool, the tactical vest, my inventory, it would get cumbersome and in the way. You press the grip button to open it, but because it's right there in front of me, I'd sometimes open it by accident. And then, there were times when putting items back in the vest became a jumbled mess. The detonator gave me the most hell.
Target has been eliminated.
Then, there's quite a bit of clipping, but at this point, I'm going to go ahead and assume that clipping in VR games is a big deal to get rid of, as I've seen this in much bigger games but have only seen it dealt with properly in only a few. And then finally on my list of things that could use some work, there is no crouch button. As much as I applaud VR for the immersion offered, I do not want to be doing squats in VR. I do enough on a daily basis every morning in real life, and not everyone has the play space to accommodate that range of motion either. But again, this will be sorted out in the next update. So, I trust you see a trend here. I'd like to call it commitment and dedication. Game Pressure Studio is actively updating Combat Troops VR many sleepless nights to address all issues and concerns. Combat Troops VR is still in early access and has about 2 more years in before we can confidently say we've got a full release. And after the full release, the developer will be doing steady maintenance to ensure this one lives up to his dreams. This is clearly a labor of love. It's evident in all aspects of Combat Troops VR, and I will be keeping a watchful eye on this gem moving forward. If you'd like to grab a copy of Combat Troops VR over on Steam, then I've got a couple keys up for grabs. To get this bad boy, there'll be no song and dance, no jumping through hoops. Simply show some well-deserved love to the developer by leaving a comment saying what he did right in your eyes. And that's that. First come, first serve. A Steam key for Combat Troops VR will be headed to your preferred delivery method in no time. And to the lucky winners, feel free to add me on Steam for when the co-op patch drops. I'd love to run through this with a competent squad. Getting cover while planting C4, calling in an airstrike and such would be good times. Check out The Lab Video Game TV, the TV series on Flow One in 25 countries across the Caribbean, only on Flow One. Season 11 premieres January 10th, 2024. Download the official Flow Sports app to watch us on Flow on the go. Visit the website at thelabvideogametv.com and reach out to us at contact@thelabvideogametv.com. Thank you for watching. If you like my content, feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe, and turn on notifications and all that good stuff. Let's say on the other hand though, I found a way to piss you off with this one. Then hey, do what you gotta do. Dislike, unsub, leave a strongly worded diatribe in the comments section voicing your displeasure. Whatever it takes to make you feel vindicated, partner. Either way, I won't hold it against you. Our game is never over.